Hello everybody! We're Pais Burnley, I'm Vivian.
And I'm Drew. Today we're going to be talking about how God is a map in our life and how in our journey with Him we could just use Him to give us perspective and guide us through. Just to start, Vivian, I was thinking we could do a game.
Okay.
So there's this show I watch in America called Survivor. It's like a game show, but one of the challenges they do a lot is where they have somebody walking through like a maze. Mm-hmm. They're blindfolded and they have to rely on somebody else and their voice to guide them through. You can be blindfolded and I can be kind of trying to direct you just so we can see like how hard it really is, because they make it look so hard.
Okay, yeah.
Alright, Vivian. Let's go ahead and get started. I'm gonna have her go from there to that couch. We have a little maze set up. Alright, take 2 steps forward. Okay, now turn to your left and take like 2 more steps. There's a wall, yep. Now turn to your right. Keep going, now start walking. Oh, watch out, okay, nope, you're good. Keep going, go. Keep going, I'll tell you when to stop. Stop. Turn to your left. No, okay, turn a little more to your right, yep. Now all the way to your right. And now just walk straight. No, a little more straight. Watch out, no. Okay, now walk straight. Yes, you're perfect. You're good. No, now turn right. Now walk forward. Now turn left. And walk forward. You can take off your blindfold.
Oh wow!
Welcome back. That was fun.
Yeah?
Yeah. Vivian, how did it make you feel to be blindfolded?
I feel kind of lost because at first it was like I had to trust you, and even though I know the room, it still feels like it was very strange and I'm not sure where I'm going and everything feels just strange.
I think of it like like Minecraft, how when you start you have a new map. None of the map is filled out, so it's just a blank map and it's just you and the sea of nothing. And then as you explore, you fill out the map and you eventually have more perspective so you can see what's around you, and that's pretty cool.
So without maps we don't have any plan where to go, and maps became very important to history. So you have to know what's around you to have a good overview about everything. For example, I think of a forest. If you're in a forest and you just feel trapped because everything seems so the same, but if you would have like an overview from like a bird's perspective, it's so much easier to get out of that.
Here's kind of a video of like the history of maps.
So I present you with a brief history of maps. We can trace maps back more than 5,000 years. Early maps were extremely limited and only used to show a city or a town. Maps stayed limited until the Greeks had their go at perfecting the art. The ancient Greeks played a huge role in the history of map making. The Greeks even went as far as to calculate the circumference of the Earth using shadows. Little footnote here. Humans have known since at least the time of the ancient Greeks that the Earth was round. Christopher Columbus didn't argue the shape of the Earth, he argued about the size. But anyways, moving on. Rome further expanded upon Greek maps. Roman cartographers focused more on practical uses for maps, such as military and administrative uses. Jump ahead to the European Dark Ages, and Muslim scholars continued to advance upon ancient maps. The most noteworthy advancement is establishing a more accurately described unit of measurement for making maps. They also continued to make maps more detailed in general, but Europe didn't completely take a backseat. Many European maps from the Middle Ages were influenced by the religion of the time, and because of this, Jerusalem is often placed at the center of many European maps. After the Dark Ages, mapmaking saw a lot of innovation. With the advent of the printing press, maps could now be more easily copied and distributed. Also, since maps weren't being replicated by hand, they could be more accurate, as the printing press would create the same image every single time. An interesting thing about early maps is that there was no set notion about what was up. So some maps were orientated with south being at the top, early Chinese maps in particular. But eventually Europe decided they liked to be at the top, and more, maps started to orientate the way we know them today. As time went on, cartography continued to advance as we developed new technologies that allowed us to more accurately map the land. Of course, in today's time, we have satellites that can map the entire world with extreme accuracy. In fact, we've even mapped other worlds, such as Mars and the Moon. But thanks to thousands of years of advancing technology, we can now use our handheld phones to find our way to the nearest Starbucks. And to me, this is something that I would quite literally be lost without.
So, very early in history, people discovered that it's so important to have maps, to know where you're going, just to have an overview of everything. And we're still trying to navigate life without God, without a map.
I think of us going through life. We might know what's around us physically. We might know how to get to the nearest Tesco. but we have no idea what's actually going to come spiritually or just in our life. We have no idea what challenges are going to come. And so in a way, we're lost, like we have no map. The best part is that God could be our map. And if we rely on Him, He could give us that perspective because He knows what's going to come up. And so He could guide our steps. I just remember when I was younger, I was at Six Flags. And if you don't know what Six Flags is, it's basically, think of Disney World, except a little smaller. I was about 6 years old, and I was there with my aunt and a bunch of other of my cousins and stuff. And I got distracted because I was learning how to read, and I looked at this sign, and I was really focused on it, just trying to read. As I was reading, my aunt and all of the party I was with, they wandered off. And so then I looked around, and I was like, oh my goodness, I'm completely alone. So I was just kind of wandering around, and I just started crying. Like, it just felt so lonely because I had no idea who to rely on or where to go. And I remember finally an employee, so somebody working for the park, they saw me crying. They just helped me. They're like, what's wrong? Where are your parents? And they guided me to where lost kids go. And my aunt was there waiting for me. Yeah, and that's how they found me. And so I just remember that relief of like being able to rely on somebody who knew where to go and who knew kind of what was happening. Because I was clueless. I was completely reliant on that employee to tell me what to do. And in a way, that's God. Because God knows exactly what's happening around us. He knows what's going to come. He knows what's happened. He knows what's going on right now, everywhere. And so if we just use Him as our map, we lose a lot of stress, you know? Here's a video that talks about how important it is that we have perspective when we're planning our life.
So that's a pretty cool story, Drew, how you got lost and found again. I have a Bible verse that fits very well to that. It's Psalm 143 verse 8, and it says, "Let me hear your love kindness in the morning, for I trust in you. Teach me the way in which I should walk, for to you I lift up my soul." So for me, this Bible verse is just so nice to hear because sometimes I feel quite overwhelmed by life. Like, I have so many options what I can do with my life, what I can do after school, after my gap year. But it's just relieving to know that God has a plan and He will guide me because He's my map. And yeah, this is what the Bible verse is saying.
Yeah, so even when we think we know what's about to happen in life, even if we have all the plans in the world, we gotta be reliant on God. And we have to let Him guide us. But one of the ways that God guides us is through other people. How has God used you to guide other people? How have you been a map in other people's journey with God? And who in your life has been a map for you in your journey with God and through your life? You know, it's just an interesting thing to think about.
And we want to invite you to the Noise. It's our Youth River Life Church, and there are people that can be your map for a time, or just when you want to learn more about Jesus and God. It would be so nice if you could visit us there. We also have some cool clubs. Drew's doing gaming on Tuesdays, I will do drama on Tuesdays, and on Friday we have the Noise, soon in person again. This is so cool. So this information and everything else you can find at Pais Burnley Instagram or the Noise Instagram. We will link it in the video, and you can find it there. It was so nice to have you again. Hopefully see you soon. Goodbye.
Bye.